Hello and good evening. Welcome to F2, where we are back again in Montreal on the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Gilles Villeneuve, should I say? All you French boys are going to start giving out to me. Where we have 15 drivers on the grid this evening. And God knows how many of them will get penalties after last night. Same rules apply for this evening. If everyone gets a penalty, we will be giving something away tomorrow. And that is the story in Balamori, as they would say. So, and I can see the comments are already rolling in. Remco, hello. Rio, hello. Zeman, good to see you. Good luck tonight in F1. Jaden Carpenter frauding his way to pole position last night in F4 and then doing what Jaden does best. Anyway, and then Lex, I'm not entering you into the giveaway. You're a troll. It is what it is. If I don't know who you are, you're going to have to tell... Oh, Ronaldinho's been disqualified from the session. That's not a good start to him. Remco wants to join the lobby. Okay, Remco, let's get you in. Where is Little Hungry King? I can't find him. Oh, God. Where is he, actually? Remco. Where is Remco? Bro's not even online. As Vincenza, not his real name, has gone provisionally P1 as he's the first driver to set a time. Hope everyone's having a lovely weekend so far. It's absolutely beautiful here in Manchester at the moment. The sun is in the sky, not many clouds. It's not raining for once. Maybe it's going to be raining in Canada this evening. As there's quite a lot of traffic out there on the track. And a few times beginning to come in. Andrei Feschenko, who was having an impressive F2 race last night until an unfortunate incident with somebody. Not maybe in this lobby. Newman, I'm not entering you to the giveaway either. You can go away. As Jarno de Witt also now setting times. Maritab Ali with an audacious 122.654. Bastian, if Jaden gets a podium tonight, I will give away a... I'm not going to say how much I give away. I'm like Father Christmas these days. I will be very impressed if Jaden gets a podium tonight. I'll make Ronks an admin. We'll invite him back and we'll let him be an admin. How does that sound? No, Remco, just take whatever car you can get into, so long as I can actually get you into the lobby. I don't see you online, Remco. You may ask Ivan Belov for an invite. Yeah, ask Ivan for an invite because this game has a habit of being crap. Hello, Ozan. Good evening. How are you? So, 15 drivers on the grid. How many will end up with penalties? That's the main question here. If everyone ends up with a track limit penalty, I will be giving away gift cards and the like, as we did in the F3 stream last night. Because the whole lobby had a skill issue, basically. Libnow deciding to return from his hiatus. Welcome back, sir. Ivan Belov, our gracious host, and last season's F3 champion. He's not already had his way in F2. He's been up the front, but not as far up the front as he'd like. Alex Theodore going P2 at the moment. Our championship leader, though, still in the pits. As Ivan Belov, speaking of the devil, goes to the top of the standings. As I'm trying to invite Remco in. Which is far more difficult than I anticipated. There we go. Matei out on the lap as well. He's been very well behaved. Callum with the great comment. Am I commenting F1 tonight, Zeman? I'm probably not, to be honest. I have made arrangements, should we say. Matei, getting back to the drivers on the grid. Matei's been very well behaved this season, you know, after his little moment of madness, should we say, in Suzuka last season against Max Jr. Brzezinski. He's been very well behaved after serving his 3 qualifying bans and 3 race bans. So fair play to you. Apo said we haven't seen a whole lot of him this season either. Hoping to see more of him in the years to come, or the seasons to come. James King. One half of the James King Bruce Lee duo. That is not how you went to the pits. But anyway, anyone actually on a lap here, as Andre's just finished his lap and he's got provisionally P5. Jaden in P7 at the moment. Alex Carrick. As Bastian thinks Matei is better than Alex. There's definitely an argument for it the last few races. Matei had a great Jeddah in F3 there last week, or the week before, or 2 weeks ago, sorry. He's definitely one to watch. Maybe if he cleans up his act and just kind of focuses out on the track and less on the terrorism, he will be a decent driver one day. Sweaty Chicken's out in the McLaren. Mr. Remco Smeets, good lad. Very good guy, actually. He's one of the nicer guys in the Aero. As everyone thinking Jaden is cooked, sitting all the way down in P7. Apparently his time would have had him on the front row in F3 last night. It was that good. We're expecting more of the same from him there tonight. 9.5 minutes in qualifying left. So, what is going to happen this evening? As this track has some very notable corners. The biggest overtaking zones are down the back straight. Down Droit du Casino, as it's known as, and then into the Wall of Champion chicane. You want to get the move done before the chicane, as it's just suicide to kind of just stick it in side by side in there, as we saw so many times last night. Fat Ronaldo is in the Mercedes tonight. Mateusz Kolinski? I'm not sure. His partner in crime, Ronaldinho, has been disqualified for just letting cars pass, because the game is a bit of a buggy mess when it comes to that stuff. And Lex is out on the track, and he is going through Lepingel, the hairpin, also known as turns 10, that little kink to the left. 11 now going through turn 12. Long DRS straight open, rear wing open here, as he does make his way into the Wall Champion chicane. Bit of a drift there, nowhere near the wall. He's lost a bit of time there. Lex could have been better. That will be in the 109s, but it's good enough for P2 by 1,000th of a second. Ivan keeps P1. Interesting. As Vince now starting his lap as he goes into turns 1 and 2. Viraj Siena, as it's also known as now, up the hill now, down on the run down to where Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton have had some duels in the past. Turns 3 and 4 near have to get really close to the wall to maximise their exit speed. Now round this little bend here, that's turn 5 into turns 6 and 7. Very easy to lose the car here if you take too much curve or a bit, as we literally just saw there, if you're a bit too eager on traction. Vince setting a purple sector 1, but that'll be his lap. Done and dusted for now. He's going to abort that. As Fat Ronaldo getting out of the way for Lib now. Lib now has used all his battery? Oh, he must have been validated. As Mr. Adam Hurkush is running for the pits. And Ivan now on another hot lap as well, as he's gone through the cheeky little chicane where you can lose the car, similar to what Kamil Blazhikinski did last night in F3. Just too much throttle on the curb, and that will lead you to lose traction. Down the long back straight, going through turn 12 now as we speak. DRS wide open. Setup wise, it's usually quite high wings you'll do here. You'll run on this track just solely because sectors 1 and 2 are a bit chaotic. A lot of the little mini chicanes, very fast paced corners. And Ivan goes even faster now into the 109.4s. As we see Matei coming out just in front of Ivan. And Lex Todd will have to counter that. as he goes through turns 8 and 9 now. Very, very tricky part of the track here. Very easy to lose the car. Now on the run down to turn 10, Le Pringle, as we call it. As James King sticking his car in P1 provisionally with a 108.9. So we're into the 108s now with just over 6 minutes to go in qualifying. That's all happening now. Time is beginning to rapidly drop. As Lex went full send there, but he's just not, again for the second lap in a row, he's just not managed to stick it. And it's going to be even slower, it's going to be the 110s. It's not good enough for the front row. Anybody else out on the track? Alex Carrick is, well, he's Tokyo drifting around the turns 10 there and 11. Yellow flag in sector 1, I think it's just Lex just going a bit slow. Nothing new there though. And is Alex going to start a lap or is he going to come into the pits? You have your answer there. Maritab Ali in the 110s now. He's finally set a proper lap. Is he on another lap? No, he is not. Liv now, after his botched attempt, is still the only driver without setting a time. 5 minutes to go in qualifying, and it's really a 4-horse race to who will be on pole. But as it stands, James King with blistering pace, nearly half a second on the rest of the pack. Remco saying he's a wet specialist in F1 24. He's had some good races in the wet, Remco, especially in F5 this season. As Lex comes diving into the pits. There's really no real life F1 on this weekend, so everyone has a bit of a break from the chaos that is the McLaren show. As I think everybody, apart from the fangirls, want Oscar Piastri to win the title this season. But yes, as a few drivers coming out to the pits now, you can see the McLaren and the Red Bull. I think that's Sweaty Chicken and Jaden. No, it's Alex and Ivan. Well, I could have many more wrong. And Yarrow DeWitt not on a lap either. I think he's either coming out to start a lap or he's heading into the pits. So we will see in just a second here as he goes through his turns 10 now. Can be an overtaking zone, but you have to be very careful here because you can easily lose a wing when another driver turns in. You have to really trust who you're going side by side with into turns 10 and 11, because one wrong move and you're going to be into the pits. And Yarrow is into... he's going to start his lap and move right on board with him here. He just took the World Championship chicane. Very, very careful there. Carefully there. Into turn 1 we go. Now up to 2, keeping the car in third gear. Really taking a wide berth there, and that's going to be the end of his lap, is it? No, he's going to keep on going. No. That's him done now. So this is the problem with this track. Traction is quite difficult. And as a result of that, it is difficult just to nail all the corners together. As opposed to other tracks in this game, or circuit in this game, should we say, where traction isn't a big issue. Here it just seems to be a bit of a nightmare, especially you've got curb everywhere too. It's a narrow track. Ivan though, into turn 3 and 4 here. This is an interesting spot there because you can cut turn 4 quite a bit. You just have to be very, very careful. Again, you don't invalidate. Up to 5 and 6 here. And through turn 7, DRS wide open yet again for Mr. Bello. He's burning through that battery here, and into turn 8, takes a lot of curb there, takes a loads of curb in turn 9. That was perfect there by the Russian. And now he goes onto the run down for turn 10. Minimal input there, not to lose any traction or get any wheel spin, that's great. Vasily says to grab a beer and enjoy the show. Well, it's going to be the track limit show tonight. Who will not end up with a penalty? That's the main question here. Ivan does a lovely job there. Could have utilised the track a bit more. Could have went a bit more full send. He has improved, but he's going to stay in where he is. He's going to 109.3s. James King at the moment, untouchable. Still nearly 4 tenths. Well, just over 3.5, just under 3.5 tenths ahead of the pack. Lex Todd, though, what is he going to do as she comes through the Pringle now? And we've got 1 minute to go in qualifying, so this is going to be Lex's final attempt. Might be a bit of an anticlimactic qualifying session here, as the top two aren't coming out, or aren't going to be setting her the lap. Here comes Lex, what can he do? That's better. Still could use more of the track, though. He's going to cross the line. It's going to be in the 109s again, I think. It is. He's going to go to P2, though, at the moment. Ivan racing for the line. Is he going to try and set another lap? Interesting from Ivan. I thought he would have charged the battery, but here he comes racing down here. As Giuseppe, good evening, sir. And Ivan gives up. He's into the pits. So Vince, what can he do? And just ahead of him is Mr. Ero F1, who's not using any battery for some reason. As we're into the dying embers of qualifying here. Anyone who hasn't set, there's the yellow flag there, anyone that has to set a time is going to have to do it now. Now's your last chance. I don't think Yaro's on a lap, to be honest. Is he giving a tow? Something interesting going on here. It's Vince now. That's how you get close to away. You just kiss it there. As Fat Ronaldo retires from the session, Vince stays where he is, improves marginally. Alex Theodore in P4. Anyone else to set a time? Jaden does improve. Or does he? He does! He goes P5! Jaden Carpenter! P5 in F2! My guy is a Canada specialist. Oh la la. Anyone else left to set a time? Alex, no. That's qualifying done and dusted. And the big surprise there is Jaden. P5, lovely, lovely stuff. 35 laps of racing is coming your way. And that is qualifying done and dusted, where James King on the top step, he'll be on the front row with Lex Hodd, followed by Ivan Balov and Alex Theodore on the second row. Jaden Carpenter, a surprise entry, and Vince Manchestra on the third row. Yara DeWitt and Matei on the fourth. Aposeid and Andrei Feschenko will round out the fifth row, I think it is. Then Fat Ronaldo, Alex Carrick, Maritab Ali, Remco, Libnow, and Ronaldinho rounding out the rest of the grid. Libnow, the only driver not to set a time. Ronaldinho is DSQ'd for some strange reason. Oh, these things happen, unfortunately. And it's raining as well. Oh God. Wow, this is sure to add spice to the situation, as it always does. As Jaden says he can't start on the inters for some reason. Oh, probably because the track's not wet enough. Oh God, well, it's going to be an absolute chaotic start. And we will get underway in racing here in F2. And everyone seems to have gotten away okay. I think everyone's on the dry compound tyres. It's going to be absolute chaos here. I've been getting past Lex. So is Alex after Lex's a poor start. James keeping the lead of the race here. And there's a driver off. That's a Red Bull. It's Jamin Carpenter. As Alex Carrick is our first driver to get a time penalty. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1 already. I think it's a Mercedes that's gone off. It's Fat Ronaldo. Jamin and Andrei Faschenko fighting turns 3 and 4. Andre goes off the track on the Aston Martin. This is going to be an absolute shit show of a race. Alex Carrick has gotten a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting? Eh? Right, Libnow up to P9. He's had a great start starting from P15. Matei dropping all the way down to P12. What is going on here? Ronaldinho up 5 positions. Remco 4. Remco called for the rain and he's gotten it. Matei and Ronaldinho fighting now. Ivan and Alex up 1. Lex down 2. Yaro DeWitt up 2 positions. Jaden down 2 after his unfortunate turn 1 error. I think everyone's on the dry compound tyres. Oh my God. As we're going to see some side-by-side action here between Apo Said and Alex Carrick. No one dead just yet. Already one driver with a 3-second time penalty. You'd love to see it. Vince Venestra with a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. 2 drivers into the pits already. James King naturally setting the fastest lap of the race. He's the first driver to cross over. Both of them are onto the inters. Everyone else is... As DRS gets enabled now. Okay, even though it is raining... So, both of these drivers gambling on the inters early. They're going to have to be very careful to not burn through them though here. You see Remco and Matei going side by side for turns 3 and 4. It's all happening now. Lovely angle here. I really hope in the next game we get more control of the camera angles as a spectator. Libnow up to P6, he's had a great start. Yaro DeWitt in P5, and the top 4 remain unchanged after the first 3 corners. Right, and no, is anyone else going to pit? That's the interesting question here. As we see, Fat Ronaldo's gone off at the Pringle. Maybe he's been bonked, maybe he's just lost the car under braking. It's hard to say, we didn't catch that one properly as Maritab Ali and Apo Said are going to be fighting. There's a yellow flag in Sector 3. Ivan Belov is gone and that's going to bring out the safety car. A victim of the wall of champions, you can see it there. Ivan maybe went a bit too much send on that. And that is his evening done after 3 laps. 2 drivers managed to sneak into the pits. Mateus and Andre. They're both onto the inters. Now what does everybody else do? What does the field do here? Wow, well this is interesting. As Lex almost goes into the back of the safety car. That would have been very interesting. That would have been funny if Lex had the safety car. So somehow James got out ahead of the safety car. And as a result of that, well, they're all going to be able to pit now. Oh, very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Well, let's just see what they all do now. I'm expecting people to pit if they do indeed think it's going to get worse. This is your golden chance to do so. Ivan, our first retiree of the evening. 2 drivers already in penalties, so I think Vince's doesn't count. Yeah, Vince's doesn't count, just Alex's. As Jaden is apologising to Vince for an incident. Alex into the pits. Lex is deciding to stay out. Interesting here. So it's comfort or speed. There are your options. As only 2 drivers have decided to pit. Alex, who's come out in the hard tyres, and James, who's also come out in the hard tyres. So they're not believing it's going to be wet enough. Now, why have they gone to the hard tyres unless they've had damage? Interesting strategy here. As now we have caught up indeed with the safety car. And now nothing's going to happen for a lap or two. Maybe 1 lap if we're lucky. Yeah. And everything just begins to settle down a bit. Right, so Ivan wrote in the weekly preview in the attendance spot that he, don't end up in the World Champions, and it's exactly what he's done. Alex Carrick into the pits. We're going to have 1 more lap of this safety car, I'm assuming. And lots happening here in the Ero at the moment. We actually, after getting a new sponsor for next season, in Streamline Setups, a big thank you to them for helping along with next season. We are moving on to F1 25, which will be interesting to say the least. It'll be difficult for all those on the PlayStation, or PS4, sorry, previous gen. They'll have to just kind of get on with it, because it's just holding the game back, unfortunately. Anyway, enough rambling from myself. We should be getting underway in racing now. And we are indeed. Safety car in this lap. Rain seems to be easing up. It's still there, but it doesn't seem to be getting any heavier. And Lex is gone. And he is way underway in racing, and he's managed to keep the lead. He hasn't really caught them napping. And the pack's staying close to it. We should have Vince Venestra and Apo Sade battling here. Are the Inters faster? That's the question. They do seem to have a bit more grip, as Vince is closing in rapidly on Maritab Ali. And James King, who started in P1, is down to P6. And he gets past the sweaty chicken. 2 drivers do. Ronaldinho does as well. Ronaldinho, who was in the back of the grid at the start of this race, is down to P6. A great little recovery from him. Lib now up to P3 after not even setting a lap time, as Yarrow DeWitt goes very wide there, and Matei getting... Whoa, as Yarrow almost goes straight into Libnau's line there. Matei touching the front of Libnau's car. Jaden Carpenter and Maritab Ali fighting further down the grid. We're getting a prime time view of this here though, as Yarrow doing a bit of a weave, it must be said, on the straight. All three of them getting quite safely though through the wall of champion chicane. James King in P5. Remco is our second driver of the day with a track limits penalty. DRS is enabled. We're back properly in racing now again. And Lex Hodd is gone. He's 2 seconds up the road. As Yaro DeWitt's had a big wobble there, and so is Adam Hurtush in suit. Matej running well in F2. It's good to see. He kisses the wall on the exit of turn 4. Rain getting a bit heavier now. There's more spits of it coming down. The Inters runners are just hoping that DRS gets disabled ASAP and the full crossover happens. Andrei Feschenko running down in P9. He needs to stay within the DRS of the F4 driver, Mr. Jaden Carpenter. Lex Hodd, 2.5 seconds clear now. He's setting his own pace. Yaro just struggling in those hards, and Liv now really staying with him. And James King and Matej are fighting into turn 11. Further down the field, Alex, Theodore and Remco are fighting for P12. And these two are going to go side by side. We'll ride on board with Ronaldinho to get a good bird's eye view of the action. Into the wall, champion chicane to go. And was that carbon fiber? Oh, as we see Matej go off the track there. That's going to be a track limits warning. Ronaldinho gets overtaken by Vince. Vince overtaking two P drivers there. And Jaden Carpenter getting involved as well now. Vince up to P5, Jaden up to P7. Some great action here, and nobody's dying just yet. Remco into the pits. He's stuck on a new set of hard tyres. As Apo Said with the fastest lap of the race on the intermediates in a 1:18. Does that signal to the dry runners to start changing tyres or considering changing the tyres? If you're on the tyres that you started off on, I think they're just waiting to see how this race develops. If you're on the medium runners or the hard runners. Apo Said now, the next driver to get a 3-second track limit penalty. Lib now up to P2, and it's a Williams 1-2 here at the moment. And now, interesting enough, stacking is going to become an issue for these guys. They're on the same strategy, and they're in the same garage. So that's something to be aware of if Adam just gets too close to Lex. Matej is hunting as Andrei Feschenko, our next driver. So for all you giveaway entrants who are still in the hunt, another one bites the dust. Matej very close to the back here of the Belgian. And Apo Said setting another fastest lap now. He's into 1:17s. Matej is with a 3-second time penalty for track limits. We're about a third of the way through this race, and over half the field have a penalty, is it? No, they've got 6 drivers with 5 of them with track limits. So 10 drivers still to get a penalty for us to reach the giveaway. Vince and Matej, as Alex gets another one. Vince and Matej fighting side by side into turn 8 and 9. It's very well to keep both cars safely there, going through those corners. So far, so good. No massive incidents already. Ivan Belov saying Vince is cooking. Vince is cooking. It must be said. And Lex Hodd 4 seconds clear of the rest of the pack. And Lipnow has got a trail of cars behind him all the way from P3 down to P10. A big old dirty DRS train. And we see James King and Yaro DeWitt going side by side through turns 1 and 2 here. And James is going to get the better exit there. And going to have to move done before turn 3 and 4. Our driver who is on pole position, fighting his way back up after an unfortunate start. Lex also had a poor start, and he's recovered quite well since. The question is how long can Adam Hurtush defend against James King? And James backing out of that one there very safely. But a bit of contact with the back of Libnau's car here. And Ero DeWitt making a... Oh, there's a bit of contact there from Vince. A bit of an ambitious move there on James, I think. And a bit of a concertina effect was almost going to happen there. This pack still in hot pursuit. And Mateus and Alex are both arriving on the scene as well. Ronaldinho almost outside DRS range, but that's quickly been changed. So the whole field here, as James King is going to get past Lip now for P1 with the assisted DRS into turn, or P2, sorry, with the assisted DRS into turn 2. We go. Ero DeWitt still in P4, Vince Finestra in P5, Jaden Carpenter holding strong in P6 on those intermediate tyres. Matei in P7, Andre in P8 as Remco gets another track limits penalty. Alex Carrick in P9, Kamil Plishkinski in P10. Andre and Matei fighting side by side. Well, they were a few seconds ago. And we see an Alpine there, Ronaldinho making a bit of an ambitious move on Mr. Carrick. Not getting the move done though. Alex Theodore still riding solo there at the back of this pack in P12. Maritab Apo Said, who's dropping fastest laps of the race at one point. He's all the way down at P14. Remco in no man's land in P15. Mateus and Ronaldinho, Fat Ronaldo and Ronaldinho are fighting with Alex Theodore just ahead of them. So the whole pack's just staying within DRS range of each other. Alex though, well, just as I say that, Alex has dropped out of DRS actually. As Lex Hodd now setting the fastest lap of the race, and it looks like it stopped raining altogether, as James King now sets the fastest lap of the race. As those mediums are going to be pretty cooked at this point. Usual strategy is to come in around lap 15 on the mediums and lap 20 on the hards. As we see Mateus and Apo Said both into the pits. Apo's gotten rid of those old soft or inters. As Alex Theodore, another driver with a track limit penalty. One step closer to penalty glory for everybody here. Matei and Jaden now fighting for P6 on the track. Matei will get it for now as they go into turns 8 and 9. Vince just ahead of them. He's going to be looking to dump those intermediates quite soon. Libna, who was running in P2 at one point, those mediums are past their shelf life, or they're getting close to that point. As David Allen says, thank you for the tow in qualifying yesterday. Well, thank you for racing in F2 next season, David. You are a sandbagger. Baskin, get rid of this guy. It's alright. Every season in F5 we do have one sandbagger who just like takes pride in winning, even though they're miles quicker than they should be in the field. As fastest laps are beginning to drop in now, we've gone from the 118s to the 115s. Loads of fighting here while everyone's just pitting. Everyone getting rid of those inters now. Vince being held for his 10-second penalty for a pit entry at the start of the race. Everyone's sticking the hards on there till the end. I'm actually not giving David Allen entry to the giveaway for that comment. It was not appropriate. So, everyone from P1 to P8 have not pit yet. Interestingly enough now, this spreads the pack out. Andrei Feschenko with a penalty. So that's what, 7 drivers, nearly half the grid with track limit warnings. Jaden is going to be on for quite the big undercut here, actually, now that I think about it. His tyres are going to be a bit exhausted or spent by the end of the race. Lex Hodd into the pits. But Jaden's on for a big undercut here. James King with the fastest lap of the race. He stays out. So does Ero DeWitt. Libnow has to stay out because Lex has gone into the pits. The 2 V-Carb terrorists stay out on the hard tyres. They're a bit old, but they'll probably stay for 10 more laps or so. Lex comes out P8. He doesn't come out ahead of Jaden. So Lex will probably, or Jaden, when the rest of the field pits, probably will come around P4, P5, depending on how strong this undercut is. We'll just check the distance, or the interval between himself and the leader. It's 24 seconds. Alex Carrick with another 3-second time penalty. Thank you for your entry into the giveaway, Mr. Purple. Remco with a 3-second time penalty, and we hope to see you next season. Now, and that's dropping there. It's dropped by about a quarter of a second so far this lap. And the leader, Jaden, is the one to watch here, as the rest of the pack in front of him haven't pit yet. And now Matej and Libnow fighting into the World Champion chicane. Libnow into the pits. James King with the fastest lap of the race. He's into the 1:13s now. Matej with the fastest lap of the race. What is going on here? Oh, that's we didn't expect to see that anytime soon. So, Libnow coming out ahead. Oh, speaking of Jaden, he's gone a mile off the track. What is he doing there? And he's dropped all the way down to P10. Andrei Feschenko with the fastest lap, and the times are dropping rapidly. Jaden, you're on for like the undercut of a lifetime. You're going to end up in P4 here. As Mr. John Ahern has decided to comment again. Good evening to you. So Jaden making a mess of the World Champion chicane, and his master undercut plan has gone kaput. Now Libnow is going to be the interesting party to watch here for this. How much can he undercut the rest of the pack? Is anyone else deciding to pit? They're not. Ronaldinho is into the pits though. He's going to get rid of those mediums. And the pack all just spread out as we do finish up our pitting strategies. Jaden with a 3-second time penalty. And how many does that bring us to penalties? 7 still, unless Ronaldinho's got 3 as well. Only 1 DNF so far, and that was Mr. Ivan Belov as another yellow flag. David Ann, you are not entering the giveaway for your libacious comment previously. So, as it stands at the moment, Lex will come back out ahead of those in front of him once they've all pitted. Nobody really within DRS here, just Jaden and Alex, and I think Remco, Ronaldinho as well, Mateus, but the top half of the field. As Maritab into the pits, he's got the mediums on. As Libnow, the next driver, with a 3-second time penalty for track limits. And that brings us up to 8, so over half the field are there. Mateus and Remco fighting into turns 3 and 4. James King 6.5 seconds clear of Mr. Yarrow DeWitt at the moment. But his battle is with Lex Hodd. It's not with the drivers in between him. Now his safety car is disastrous here for those who have pit. Maybe, I think Lex will still be okay. He'd still come out ahead. But the rest of the grid. No, I did not like your comment, David. Stop. For the rest of the grid, it'll really mess up their strategies. Well, it doesn't look like anything like that's happening. It's been quite a clean race. Quite an uneventful race. Which is unusual to see in F2. Normally it's a bit of a wild show here, similar to F3. Nothing else really happening. James now 7 seconds clear of his nearest rival, Ronaldinho, with the fastest lap of the race, and we have action on the track between the two admins racing in this tier tonight. Jaden and Adam into turns 3 and 4, and Libnow back up to P7. He's going to have a helping here at DRS, Jaden. Ronaldinho, only driver without a penalty in this middle of the pack here. He has a good chance to get a good position here if he just stays out of trouble and stays within the white lines. Lex closing in on those drivers ahead of him. And speaking of closing in, Matej's got DRS and he's hunting down Ero F1 as his hards are nearing the end of their life cycle. Over half race distance completed. What is actually flown by this race so far. You see here another DRS train forming now as everyone's completed their pit stop strategies. P7 all the way down to P12. Remco with another track limits penalty. Let's have a look at that, shall we? So as Maritab with the fastest lap of the race in the 112s. Alex with 3 second, Andre with 6, Libnow, Apo and Mateus with 3. Then Jaden's also got 6, Alex Carrick with 9, and Remco with 15. Ooh la la. Ooh la la. Matej closing in now, and Yarrow even more so. He's gained about half a second in that last lap. Just under half a second. Is Matej... Oh, Matej's not on for P2, but there's all those behind him a bit. But yeah, as Libnow and Jaden still fighting, is Apo Sade with a 3 second time penalty. Mateus with another 3 seconds as well. And Libnow closing in on Jaden. Does he have enough though? He does have the fresh tyres. He's very, very close to the back with me. Ronaldinho right in pursuit as well, followed by Alex Carrick. And these four are going to go to war, it looks like. Nobody making a move though to turn 8. No one's close enough, even with the 80 DRS. Alex very close to the back of Ronaldinho's car there. Will anyone make a move into turn 10? Lepringel. Not yet. Matej into the pits. He's the first of the V-carbs to pit for fresh tyres. And down the back straight here. Are we seeing a move? Matej's gone to the mediums. Has anyone made a move here though? No. Is there going to be tears? No. It's actually kept quite clean. Libnow with a 3 second time penalty though. Has his exit been compromised by that poor entry into the wall champion chicane? Matej manages to come out ahead of Andrei Feschenko. He's going to stay in P5. That's a good result for him actually. Maybe it's on for Matej. Maybe the P2 is on for him. He's on the mediums as well. Tanasi Matej. Redemption arc loading here. And Ronaldinho is still without a penalty, which is great to see from my bank balance. And he's just being held up a bit now by the drivers in front of him. Kamil Plizhikinski needs to get a move on. And Andrei Feschenko keeping Matej company through turn 10 here. What happened to Ivan? Ivan met the wall of champions, as Bastian has said, Zeman. And further down in the back now, Apo Sade arriving into this party as well. He's just outside DRS range. Further up the field, Matej and Andre are fighting with the assistive DRS. Andre gets past. Matej just needs to be patient here. Well, never mind. Maritab with an even faster lap of the race. How is he setting all these fastest laps from the back of the pack without any DRS either? It's a yellow flag in sector 1, and that's Remco. He's off the track into turn 2. Now James King, 10 seconds clear. Now he's going to have a bit of a dilemma on his hands, because can those hards go to the end? I don't think they can. Yarrow into the pits. That's going to bring Alex up to P2. And in hot pursuit of him is the Dutch stallion, Mr. Lex Hodd, who's doing his NBA, something, high school exams or something soon. It's that time of year where everyone does have their high school exams, so good luck to you if you are studying for those at the moment. Yarrow coming out P7 into the middle of this pack of chaos, led by Mr. Adam Hortosh. Andre now not able to stay with Matej. At one point he was ahead of him, the Romanian, but now the Ukrainian driver is now behind him. Saying that he is holding with him here through this middle section of the track. Lex really close to the back of Alex Theodore now. And with DRS, he's just going to sail on by here. Alex doesn't do anything crazy. And James just after lapping Remco as he's just after coming out of the pits. Alex with another 3-second time penalty. And Yarrow and Lib now as Matej gets a 3-second time penalty. Another victim. As a yellow flag in sector 3. Is that Jaden? No, it's not Jaden. Is that Alex? I don't know what happened there. Another one bites the dust. 6 drivers to go, I think. Yep. With 11 laps to go in this race. Now the interesting thing here is James King needs to make a decision, and pretty soon. Is he going to come in or is he going to stay out? If he comes in, he has to do it sooner rather than later. 16 seconds just over is the gap between P1 and P2. If he stays out, he needs to whisper these tires to the end. But he can afford to give Lex a second a lap in pace, over a second a lap. Even 1.5 seconds a lap in pace he can afford to give Lex. So this is the question here. Tyre management is the key to this. And I think James is going to have to stay out at this point. He's just going to be very close to a puncture. Matej was on for a podium, man. Matej was on for P2 at one point. Oh, okay. Alex Theodore also in a similar position to Mr. James King, where he's going to have to whisper these tyres to the end, which is going to be a tricky affair. Everyone else should be okay with their tyres to the end. Oh! As Ronaldinho's into the wall on the exit of turn 9, that brings out the VSC now! As James had already passed the pit entry. But this does his tyres a big favour. 19 seconds is the gap between himself and Lex. What's going on there? 20 seconds now is the gap between himself and Lex. This does James King a massive favour. And he's very lucky a full course safety car didn't come out, or else he would have been boned. Lex just adhering to his delta, I think, hence the difference here. Ronaldinho into the pit snatching up as Mateus gets a drive-through penalty for speeding onto the safety car. What is Fat Ronaldo doing? Yarrow DeWitt comfortably riding along in those fresh mediums. Matej as well. As we're back away under racing, nobody else gets any infringements under the VSC. And the gap up to 17.5 seconds. Lex is really going to have to push those hard tyres to the limit. They're 10 laps fresher than James Kings's. And Jaden closing into the back of Lib now once again. So only one DNF, one retirement in this race so far. Great to see. 6 drivers yet to get a penalty in this race. As Lib now is battling Mr. DeWitt. And he gets the move done as they go through the dreaded chicane known as the Wall of Champions chicane on this track. Where I think a lot of the track limit penalties have happened. They're in like turns 3 and 4. Oh, as Yarrow makes an ambitious move on Lib now. Has that cost Adam Manny wing damage? That was a bit of an ambitious dive. And Jaden right on the back of Alex with another 3-second time penalty. Mateus into the pits again. I think it's a service drive-through. Well, I don't think Lib now saw that one coming. As Alex Carrick taking the fastest lap of the race to 1:10.8. And Lex can really only hope for... If he wants to win here, all Lex can do is just hope for the puncture, to be honest. I think James did helping a DRS, did he? No, he didn't. As we enter into lap 28 of 35. This is a dominant display by James King. 16.5 seconds ahead of P2. Very, very dominant. And Lib now and Jaden still battling along for P7. Vince Venestra and Alex Carrick fighting on the back straight. They've had quite a quiet race, nothing too dramatic happening with them. Ronaldinho as well, he was very unfortunate last night. He's had a very unfortunate few races now. As Matej and Alex swapping positions. He's had a very unfortunate few races in F3 where himself and Callum Morris are locked in a battle for the title. Well, I think it may have went Callum's way after last night, unfortunately for them. And now Yarrow DeWitt going through turn 10 here. And now he's kind of just... He's a bit of an island at this point now. Libnau's got Jaden for company, and that's really it. The two Romanians keeping each other company as well, towing each other along. Jaden Carpenter with another 3-second time penalty for track limits. And now we'll start off as a wet race with loads of clouds is now turned into a blue skies mostly. It'll be fully dry I think to the end of this race here. Just a handful of laps to go. And Lex ever so slightly eating into this lead, but there's not a whole lot he can do at this point. He's just got to take his medicine, unfortunately. And Matej going through turn 10, keeping the car out of trouble. If Matej gets P3 here, I'll be actually really happy for him. And Mateus with another 3-second. I think P3 was the max he could have gotten here this evening. I don't think he could have challenged for much more, especially with the pace of James and Lex ahead of him. Jaden and Libnad are finally fighting on the track. Mateus with another 3 seconds. And these two going side by side here, keeping it relatively clean. It's good stuff to see as well from you lads. Jaden with a 9-second penalty though. Libnad, who is up to P2 at one point in this race. As Mateus is gone in the pits. Okay, that's alright. As we're into lap 30 of 35 now. 31 of 35. There's 5 laps to go in this race. And the lapped car of Remco and James have been battling for quite some time now. And speaking of Remco, he's got another track limit penalty. It's 18 seconds of penalties. Why are you driving through as... Oh, Andrei Feschenko is gone, and that brings out the safety car. Well, you wanted something to wake this race up, and this is it. This is the moment here. Remco will talk to you afterwards about driving through people when you're lapped. But now James King needs to pit here. I think the whole field is going to pit here. We're going to have 1 or 2 laps of racing. Does anyone dive into the pits? That's the question. Where did Andre lose the car? Hard to say from this angle, but we'll be assuming everyone will be coming in to put the softs on. Ronald Eni has already put the softs on. Alex Carrick has put the mediums on. Mara Tab has put the softs on as well. Remco, what are you doing, man? Anyway, James into the pits. I'm expecting Lex to follow suit here. As Lex gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car. Ugh. What was that for? Remco says he was quicker and he wanted to unlap himself. I see. Well, in a stunning turn of events, Jaden Carpenter has gone P2. He's elected to stay out. Interesting strategy from him as the rest of the field pit. Vince has also stayed out and he's going to jump up a few positions here. He's going to be racing the... What is that? The Mercedes and the V-Car? Right, so the James King win is all but confirmed here unless something crazy happens in these last few laps. But Jaden Carpenter gambling by staying out. I like it. Interesting. Lex's penalty does not contribute towards the track limit giveaway. And I anticipate they're going to go quite quickly in this safety car restart. And even more chaotic as Jaden gets a 10-second time penalty for a severe collision with Remco. Well, that will be removed anyway if Jaden does appeal that one. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, James has let Remco through as he is the lap car. But what does this mean for the restart then? Has actually Remco gone through? Okay. Interesting. Well, you've got your chance to unlap now, Remco. I'm not sure you're going to have time to do so, but you do have your chance to unlap yourself. As Alex Carrick with a 3-second time penalty under safety car. Ooh la la. Goes from bad to worse, and Lex is going to have to serve this drive-through penalty as well. That's just going to put him out of the points. This is effectively a death sentence. Jaden Grande strategy. Remco texting and driving. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get back away under racing at the end of this lap. We're going to have 2 laps of racing as Andre has left the session. Indeed, the safety car is in this lap and Remco is racing along to catch up with the pack. So Jaden in P2. Lex is going to drive through. Matej is on for P2. This could be a double Romanian podium. Oh my god. The actual scenes if these 2 nut jobs get P2 and P3. Yarrow DeWitt's going to have something to say about that, but let me just check the penalties before I get excited. Oh my god. And they're all on the softs. Yeah. Right, and we are away under racing. James King's gone. Jaden is going to be swamped in a second or two. As we're just going to have 2 laps of racing now to determine it all. Lex is already on the back of Jaden. Is Lex going to appeal his drive-through? Apo saved with another 3-second time penalty. As Matej looking around the outside here of Lex. Not able to make the move stick. As Ivan says, the Romanians will burn the chat they get at the podium. Apple and Vince fighting here. And Matej's made a move on Lex. They're going side by side through the Pringle. Oh, the Romanians almost kill each other. Lex keeping on to P3. He's dropped 1 position. But why is Lex fighting these guys drive through? Oh, Apo, or not Apo, Zuchol and Daryl Ann are going to be busy here in this tier as James King sets the fastest lap of the race. Matej is up to P3. He's overtaken Jaden. So has Alex Theodore. DRS enabled for this final lap. Here we go. This is for it. The Romanian double podium is on. I think they'll have to do it on the... Oh, they won't actually matter because they've got 3 seconds. Matej gets another 3 seconds. You dipstick. You fool. Oh, my God. We were all hoping for the Romanian double podium, and it's just not going to happen. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. Oh, what's gone? Who's that? I think that's Libnow, is it? Who's gone off, unfortunately. Yeah, it is. He drops down to P12, I think, through turns 6 and 7 there it was. But James is already 4.5 seconds clear. This has been a dominant display here. You should be going to race in F1. Yarrow DeWitt now. Yarrow DeWitt and Alex Theodore going side by side for the last time in this race. Yarrow's on for P2 or P3 here. Matej just appeal one of the track limits. As Yarrow gets a penalty in the last corner. He was on for a podium as well. Lex gets his 20-second drive through. James King finishes the race in P1. He started in P1. Great ending for him. Vince Finestra is P2 somehow. Ronaldinho is P3. I think Jaden had an unserved 10 seconds, which he could get removed under safety car. What a wild ending. Look at that. Remco with another 3 seconds as he crosses the line. What a wild finish to this race. And good luck to whoever's stewarding this steer this weekend, because they're going to have a lot of work to do. No giveaway. Ronaldinho, driver of the day. F1 is starting in 15 minutes. And that will do F2. Very interesting into that race. James King started on first and finishes first. Vince Finestra P2, Ronaldinho P3. That's your podium. Alex Theodore, Yarno DeWitt, who threw it away in the last corner in P5. Maritab Ali in P6. Matej in P7, Apo Said in P8, Libna P9, Lex Hod in P10 after his unfortunate drive-through. Jaden Carpenter in P11, Alex Carrick in P12. Remco in P13, the rest of the field D and F. Oh, to get the race director, don't we? God. I didn't get all the race director. Well, I tried. F1 is starting in 15 minutes. We hope to see you there if we don't have a lovely weekend. Good night.